All right, we are live. What's up, YouTube? Josh here, Momentum Productions. I got a pretty exciting live stream for you. I've got something really special with me right here. I'm holding it as we speak, but I'm not gonna really show you it until we get more people on the stream. It's really cool. Looking at it right now, it's really dope. I think you guys are gonna like it. You kind of saw it a second ago, but we'll go more into detail about what it is, what it can do, and then obviously I'm gonna have a professional, professionally shot video on it and tutorials on it. So it's something pretty neat, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. So we're gonna wait a few moments here for some people to tune in. And we'll get started on the live stream. So awesome. All right, cool. How's everyone doing? All right, guys, what's up? So, boom, new gimbal. This is the FILMMAKING camera gimbal. Look at this thing. And what's really neat about it is it has a slant. So when I mount a camera, I'm going to mount my A9 in a second here. When we mount our camera, you can notice that there is a slant here. This is something that traditional gimbals do not have. And the reason for this slant is so that we can see the LCD screen on the camera fully, so there's no obstruction there. So let me go ahead and bring out my A9. We'll mount the camera. Give me 1 second, guys. So here is the Sony A9 right here. David Nara is saying, do you have a collection of gimbals because you buy too many gimbals? Share. So some of these gimbals are sent to me for review, so I don't buy all of them. I actually have a fourth gimbal coming. So this makes my third gimbal, this one here, and I have a fourth one coming for a review. So these gimbals are sent to me because the manufacturers that send them to me, they're relatively new manufacturers, and they're trying to get, this is kind of part of their research and development, especially this company here, FILMMAKING. That's the stage that they're in currently. They're doing research and development. So they sent out a few of these test units. I got one of them, and I'm going to play around with it. I just got it today, so I'm supposed to play around with it for about a week and see if there's any flaws with the system. Good news is that I'm very familiar with the firmware on this FILMMAKING because the King TD Argo, a gimbal that I already have, runs on the same type of firmware, and this is the base cam firmware. So I'm very familiar with it, so that's a good sign. So this camera gimbal is rated for cameras up to 1,200 pounds, at least that's what the box says, but honestly, after I've been playing around with this gimbal, I feel like the motors are a lot more powerful than that. I think they're a little bit more powerful than the Jew and Crane version 2. I can just simply tell because when I push down on the motor, there's a lot more resistance than there is on the Jew and Crane. So yeah. So let's test out this gimbal, guys. I'm shooting on the Sony A9 with a 16-35. I'm going to mount it on here. I play it a lot I played around with this gimbal a lot today, and I actually played around with it so much that I killed the battery, which is rare because gimbals like this usually last a long time. But I played around. It comes with a charging cable as well, so I was able to charge my camera while shooting with the gimbal. So that actually ate a lot of the battery power there as well. So, okay, we can push it to the right a little bit. Okay. Proper balance is key, guys. Very important to get proper balance. There we go. Paolo is saying, time to send you my address. Ha, funny, funny. So here we go. Let's go ahead and turn it on. There's a little plastic switch here on the side. I'm not too much of a fan of that because I can see that easily breaking eventually. So what happens when that switch breaks? You know, you're going to be in trouble. I'd rather just there be like a button like on the Jew and Crane, but maybe this is a high quality switch. I don't know. I usually don't trust plastic switches, but here we go. So it's on, and it comes with a little tripod as well, a little tabletop tripod. It's okay. I mean, the quality of the tripod it's a little too thin for my liking, but it did come with the system, so I can't really complain. So here is the gimbal. It's just as quiet as the Jew and Crane. I would say that it's, give or take, I think it's just as smooth. And if we can take a look at the back of the camera here, you can see how the roll motor is not obstructing the LCD on the camera. You see that? So I can get a clear view of the LCD. So let me bring out the Jew and Crane and let me show you the difference between the two gimbals, okay? Grab my Jew and Crane. So here is the Jew and Crane. And then I have my King TV Argo, but that gimbal's huge. I'm not going to take that out. That's actually a gimbal for another league of cameras, in my opinion. But here's the Jew and Crane. Just screwing this on. So here's the Jew and Crane. And just imagine the gimbal, just imagine the camera being mounted. So let me flip this around. Oops. And you can see the difference. Let me bring the other gimbal into frame here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But you can see the difference between the two gimbals. You have the roll motor from the Cam gimbal slanted, and you have the roll motor from the Jew and Crane directly in the front. So this one is down at about a 45-degree angle. This one is set at a 90-degree angle, right? So that's kind of a big difference for some people there. Honestly, for me, if the roll motor is right in front of the LCD screen, it really doesn't bother me. For me, that's not a big deal. And I'll tell you why. Let's switch off the gimbal here. And honestly, there might be a little bit of a problem with the slant design. And I'll tell you why, because the pivot point is a little off. Whenever you want to do a roll shot, you see how whenever I want to roll with the camera, it becomes a little crooked. With the Jew and Crane, it does a straight roll, but with the slanted gimbals, it does a crooked roll. You see that? How it's crooked and not straight? with a 90-degree angle roll, I'm able to create a perfect roll. See that? There's no slant. It's perfectly there. The pivot point is exactly where it needs to be. It's absolutely perfect. So that's what it is. So another big difference on these two gimbals is that the Jew and Crane comes with an interchangeable battery. All right, so I unscrew this handle, batteries pop out, and the battery on the FOSSICAM gimbal is built in. I'm not a big fan of built-in batteries simply because it's proprietary, and if the battery just stops working, or if you're using a gimbal for years and years, the battery starts to wear out. And then you have to ship it in to get the battery replaced or buy a new gimbal. I don't want to have to worry about that. I'd rather just pay 10, 15 bucks for a brand new pair of batteries and change it out myself. Now, the strengths of the FOSSICAM gimbal. There's a few strengths. First off, I have a lot of faith in the Basecam electronics firmware. I'm very good working with Basecam electronics. And for those of you who don't know, Basecam is one of the first firmwares that became available for gimbals, especially for drone gimbals. So this is what this gimbal is based off of. It's based off of the Basecam firmware. And this gimbal has a Bluetooth module built in, so you can actually play around with the individual settings on the Basecam app through your smartphone. And this gimbal also has an extra area where you can mount a microphone or a monitor, so I like that feature there. It's a nice metal mount, so I like that a lot. I kind of don't like the plastic handle, but I do understand why they did it this way. If you take a look at these arms, they're very thick, a lot thicker than the Jew and Crane, which means it's a lot more robust. So there's more weight on the top. So what they tried to do, they tried to make the rest of the gimbal lighter by making the handle plastic. And they added some rubber grips, which I love. I love having rubber grips on the handle here. And overall, this feels more ergonomic. Much more ergonomic. It just fits the grooves in my hand a lot better. The handle is shorter, so it's a little bit tougher to use two hands. But with the tripod on here, I guess I can grip onto the tripod. Now, another feature that I really like is that they added two different mounting areas. They added, I keep forgetting the screw sizes, but they have your basic tripod mounting area, and they have the larger tripod mounting area. I keep forgetting the screw sizes. I'm sorry, guys, but they're there, and that's a crucial part. It's always important to use the bigger screw size if you're mounting this thing on a drone or a jib or something like that. Always use the bigger screw size because those are able to hold much more weight. I did have a few glitches with the gimbal. For example, when I try to go into inverted mode, this is a simple firmware glitch. They're going to have to figure this out. But I try to go into inverted mode. Oh, it's actually working today. It wasn't working now. It wasn't working a few hours ago. Sometimes it doesn't want to go into inverted mode. But today it's actually behaving quite well. Maybe it just needed to get recharged. But sometimes it would flip out. But today, now it's not flipping out. But it's very stable. It's very quiet. And another thing I like is that I can hold down the roll arm, and after a few seconds, the camera will reposition itself. See that? And I also like that there's a dedicated button to reset the camera. So all I got to do is press this button, and it quickly resets back to the horizon. I absolutely love that feature. And I can tell that these motors have a lot of torque. Very, very torquey motors, because I feel how quickly it resets back to the original position. And this battery is rated to last 10 hours. I think that it lasts more than that. However, it takes only an hour and a half to charge, which is absolutely fantastic. The charge to discharge ratio on this gimbal is great. So for those of you who are curious, this is the FOSSICAM FM145. They have a few more gimbals out there. They have the FM190, and they have the FM1 something else for larger cameras. But they're actually redesigning that. They're gonna add some special features on that gimbal, and they will send me that one as well when it's ready. So this is a brand new gimbal, guys. This one was just released, and it's great. It's really awesome. There's another feature in here that Tom Antos, I don't know if you guys know who Tom Antos is. He's another YouTuber. He actually got this gimbal as well, and he was reviewing it, and he said on mode 4, this gimbal can do something really special. So let's go to mode 4. So we're here in mode 4, and we can actually get some really nice shots with the roll. You see that? It replicates rolling. And this is the type of shots that you can get with a glide cam. That's what makes a glide cam so unique and special. It's that it can produce those nice, beautiful rolling shots. So I'm able to get those rolling shots with this gimbal. No other gimbal does that, guys. No other gimbal on the market can do that. So I really love that feature. So I'm going to go back to profile 1, readjust. And yeah, guys, these are really high torque motors. Like, I'll just position that right there, and it'll just stick in that position. I love that feature. Again, only Basecam electronic gimbals can do that. No other gimbal does. Can they do that in the Jewin crane? If they upgrade the firmware, that's definitely a feature that they can add, but that's something really special. And I also have a Sony cable that allows me to recharge the camera while I use this gimbal. So I like that a lot, right? And you know what? Usually plastic handles, when you load them up with quite a bit of weight, you hear some like cracking or something like that. There is no cracking or any fear of me thinking that this thing is going to break. The plastic handle on here is built really solidly. So I'm impressed with that a lot. Let's see if any questions came in. I'm going to reload the page. I know that sometimes the questions freeze. So if you have any questions, please type them in below. I also have some new lights that came in. If you guys want to see some new LED panels, please let me know. I would love to show you them. I got a flexible LED panel, which is really important to have, because with a flexible LED panel, you can literally mount it anywhere you want. And you can roll it up, you can manipulate its shape. It's something that's so cool, and that came in. I also have some new lights from a company called Neewer. Those lights I actually bought. So yeah, I needed some new LED panels, so I'm really happy that those came in today. So it's like Christmas, you know, it's like Christmas for me. And my next gimbal that I'll be getting is the Moza Air, or Mozwa Air. And I'll be comparing all 4 of my gimbals, and I'll show you which one I think is the best one and my favorite. Yes, I'm looking for good portable LEDs. I shoot a lot of run and gun music videos. Okay, cool. So let me pull out the LEDs that I have. I actually have multiple different LEDs. I have Fresnel LEDs, which are basically LEDs with lenses in them, believe it or not. If you're familiar with what Fresnel lights are, it's basically a lens that a light that looks like a camera lens, and it's a light that actually has a built-in lens. So if you want, I can show you that as well. So let's start with the LED panels. Let me show you the flexible one that I have first. So I will be doing a review on this stuff. So all this, guys, I'm teasing you with these new products. I haven't shot the review video on them yet, but I can tell you right now that these products are phenomenal. So here is a flexible LED panel. Okay, and it comes with a remote controller. It's a wireless remote controller. So you can remotely control this LED light, and it's very strong. Very strong. I think there's like 256 LEDs on here. And it comes with a metal frame, so if you want to actually mount this on a stand, it comes with a metal frame. Literally, you can tape this to a wall, ceiling, backseat of a car. You can do anything you want with this light panel because it's so flexible. So I really like that feature. So that's the first panel that I have. Definitely one of my favorite lights because it can be used in so many different scenarios. And guys, everything is going towards LED now. We're using less and less of halogen bulbs simply because halogen bulbs are expensive, they run really hot, and they don't last too long. LEDs last thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. This thing is rated for 5,000 hours. And that's non-stop running. So if I were to like stop it, it's going to probably last double that, probably. So I'm going to grab the other LED panels that I have. And these are high CRI rating, which means color rendering index. And what that is that lights are usually rated between 0 to 100. The higher the rating is, the more accurate the color is to daylight. So these lights are rated at 95 CRI. 95 out of 100, that's an A. That's a solid A rating for color accuracy. So when you're buying a light, you want to make sure that it at least has a 90 CRI rating. Keep that in mind. All right, and this is a 48-watt light. All right, let's pull out the other. Sorry guys, I stepped out of frame, but let me show you the other LED panels. I have them locked up over here. These are fantastic LED panels, guys. So, okay, here we go. Got it. So this is a light panel from Neewer. Okay, it's all metal. Comes with barn doors, a diffuser, and a CTO color filter. This is 600 LEDs. Yeah, 600 LEDs, I believe. Yeah, 600S. And it's a 36 watt. So it's a little less power than the other light, but since there's more LEDs, it doesn't need to take so much power. This is a very bright light. Very, very bright. And it's all metal, and it takes V-mount batteries, which is great. There's a V-mount adapter back here. And it has a dimmer, metal dimmer. Oh, so smooth, and you know, it's a great, great light. They just came in today, so I'm really happy about that. And I bought 2 of these. You can actually buy a kit on Amazon. They sell these 2 lights with a stand and a case for 260 bucks. Really good price. So Hislek Media says, have you checked out any RGB LEDs? So are you talking about multicolored LEDs? I think that's what you're asking. So they have bicolored LEDs. They have orange LEDs and white LEDs. The problem with using bicolored LEDs is that you're going to get half the power. So I like to keep it daylight, since that's the color of the, the color of the sun, what the sun gives out. And you're going to get more power this way instead of using bicolor LEDs. And all you need to do is just drop in, if you want a more orange tungsten look, all you got to do is just drop in one of the color filters that come with the lights, and you'll get a tungsten light. So, you know, I absolutely love these lights, to be serious, to be honest with you guys. So yeah. They have a full spectrum. Yeah, I haven't seen those. I haven't checked out the RGB LEDs. I wonder how powerful they are, because power is very important to me. And by the way, these lights are flicker free. I checked it out at 1/8000th shutter speed today. Not one bit of flicker. So that's another huge thing that you need to check out when you're buying LED lights. I mean, 1/8000th of a second, no flickering. It's great, really, really great. I own softboxes that flicker after 1/200th of a second. They're really cheap softboxes, though. I don't think I'm going to be using them anymore. I'm going to replace them with these. And I also have LED Fresnel lights that are packed up here, 3 of them. 55-watt Fresnel lights. They're very powerful. Like, they're as powerful as 150 Airy lights. And they're a lot cooler. And actually, I think they're a lot more modern looking as well. Like, they're futuristic looking lights. So I like that. They're from a company called Kane TV. What kind of music videos do you shoot? Let me know. Send us some links, man. Send us some links. And I hope all of you are subscribed to my channel. If not, please subscribe. Yeah, I'm looking to replace my softboxes. I can't wait to see your review of those portable LEDs. Thanks for all your help. Love this channel. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. So my first, the flexible LED light review will come out on Friday. That review is in the works. I'm in the process of shooting it, and it will be released on Friday morning Pacific time. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you for being interested in that. Who wants to see more of this gimbal here? It wasn't behaving before the live stream, but now it's behaving. It was tripping out on me, like really, really bad. But I think I fixed it in the Basecamp firmware. I think I was just messing around with the parameters, and I think I tweaked something I wasn't supposed to tweak, and it went crazy. So now it's behaving, and now that it's behaving, it's actually doing a really nice job stabilizing all of my shots. So if you want to know more about this FOSSECAM gimbal, let me know. I can demo some of it for you. You mainly shoot Christian hip-hop music videos. I have tons of videos on my channel. Wow, very cool, man. I'm going to check it out. Christian hip-hop. I've never heard of that. So I'm guessing it's like religious hip-hop, right? Yeah, very cool, man. So yeah, so we have, again, these are the 2 pistol grip gimbals that I own currently. I'm getting my 3rd one soon, hopefully this week. The Mosa Air. So yeah. Chorus Films Rajan Rai says, any suggestion for appropriate monitor on it? I'm using a Sony A7S. I have the Sony A7S too. So you want to use a monitor. I recommend using a small HD monitor, the 5-inch ones. Those are great. I don't have one. I have a really big Lilliput monitor. But on these gimbals, honestly, you don't need a monitor. I know small HD. I know that they're great monitors. So those will be the monitors I'll be using from now on. But honestly, with these gimbals, why do you need a monitor? The screen is literally right in front of your face. And you're just adding a bunch of weight. You don't need that bulk. Trust me, you really don't need it. You have the LCD screen right in front of your nose. You shouldn't need a monitor. Trust me. If you're running a big gimbal like a Ronin or a Movi, then yes, a monitor will be something that you need. But with these pistol grip gimbals, I don't see why people would want to use a monitor with them. You really don't need one. At most, you might need a microphone, but that's about it. I wouldn't think that you would need a a monitor. I really don't think you would need one. But yeah. So this is the crane. I love my crane. I really love this gimbal. I love the fact that the handle's all metal. I mean, I love the fact, look, plastic handle, metal handle, plastic handle, metal handle. This plastic one feels better in my hands. This one feels more expensive and more durable. So it's like they both have their trade-offs. So it's very difficult to choose. But when it comes down to like the size of the roll arm and like the overall like build quality of the gimbal itself, you can see how much thicker the FILMMAKING gimbal is compared to the Jewin crane. It's double the thickness of the Jewin crane, literally double the thickness. So that is pretty impressive, if you ask me. And it's actually very impressive. So, and another really cool thing about the FILMMAKING gimbal is that it has little stoppers on the adjustments. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's little grooves on the arms here. So that means that you can make very minor micro adjustments. The Jewin crane doesn't have that. So when you push in the roll arm, it's gonna, slide in quite a bit. But with these little grooves here, it's gonna slide in at like 1 or 2 notches at a time. So you're gonna get a much more accurate balance with that. Okay. So you said you had a big setup, a Sony a6300, Sigma 18-35, that's a big lens. So the small gimbals haven't been good. I have a Ronin M now, finally. Yeah, Ronin. I have the Came TV Argo. They're basically the same gimbal. So that's great. You had the Crane V1, loved it, then got the Sigma, I had to let it go. So basically the only reason why I still have the Crane is because I can travel with it. You can't really travel with like the bigger dual handle gimbals. So this one I can just shove into my like 13-inch camera backpack or camera bag and just take it with me everywhere I go. So that's why I still have my Crane V2, and I'm still doing tutorials on the Crane V2. And this gimbal I feel like is a little bit more powerful than the Crane V2. I feel like it can support up to 4.5 pounds, and not just like 4 pounds what it says it can. So because the motors are so, I feel the motors turn, and I just feel like it has a ton of torque. So I feel like it can definitely support more weight than what it's rated for. So you have the Glide Gear DNA 5050. Nice, man. I know Glide Gear. They're a good brand. Yeah, Glide Gear is a good brand. I think they're American, actually. So they're right on par, I think, with Glide Cam. Yeah. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions at all? There's quite a few of you watching and not asking any questions. Again, these live streams are meant for you, so please ask any questions that you may have. I would love to answer them for you. Is that it? Can I use this on my Zib crane too? If yes, how? Zib crane. Yes, you can, definitely. If you're talking about the FILMMAKING gimbal, you can, because there's 2 mounting areas on the bottom here. There's a 1/4 20-inch, and then there's the, I forgot the other size, the other standard size screw, the bigger size. Guys, help me out with the screw sizes. I'm spacing out on that today. So let me know what that is, please. All right, let me know what that is. Yeah. So I really like this gimbal. I think it's on par with what else is out there. It actually has some features that some other gimbals don't have. So it's great. It comes with this tabletop tripod, which I feel like some gimbals don't include. Like the Joan Crane does not include a tabletop tripod, unfortunately. And I think this gimbal goes for, let me get a price for you guys on it right now. I think it's around $550. $529. That's the price. Which is cheaper than the Joan Crane. It's cheaper. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So I really appreciate you guys watching this review video. If I helped you out at all, please remember that you can always throw me a super chat. All the donations that go to this channel go towards new film equipment for review. Not all of this stuff that is sent to me for free. I do have to buy a lot of this equipment with my own money, and a lot of that money comes from you guys. And I just have this channel for you so you guys can make wiser decisions in investing. So please let me know. Please help me out by sending a super chat. I would really appreciate it. Anything would help. 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, $20, whatever you have, that would be fantastic, and I would really appreciate it. So super chats definitely help out this channel. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. And of course, I'll give you credit and shout outs and all that other good stuff. So that way I can push some of my subscribers over to your channel. So any super chats would be greatly appreciated, guys. All right. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, consideration. It's been a little bit dead tonight. I'm very tired, and sometimes these live streams can be a hit or miss. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that you've learned something from this live stream. Stay tuned for my new review videos coming out later this week. I have one coming out on Thursday, one coming out on Friday. I'm filming so much lately, so much for YouTube especially. So stay tuned for that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.